What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, and this is part 6 of what I hope is a never-ending series of reviews and rankings of the Grateful Dead's Dave picks. Obviously, we are now on volume 6. I am reviewing them and ranking them in order, so you will see only the rankings for the top 6, and then as we go on, I will add one and show where it is. And obviously, if you've read the description, this is what I believe thus far is by far the best one yet. There are moments on the other 4 of the other 5, maybe 5 of the other 5. There are singular moments that I think are maybe higher, really long jams, a nice series of segues, just really special moments that each of the other ones have. But this one, from start to finish, is, I think, by far the winningest of the winningest so far of the top 6. It is the first time we dip our toes into the 60s. We get a complete show from December 20th, 1969, and then a bonus disc of material from December 21st. Not a complete show, but a CD's worth of songs. Even without that bonus disc, I think I would rank this as number 1, because what else you get beside that complete 12/20/69 show is you get the complete show from February 2nd, 1970. This was released in 2013. The story goes that these were lost. These are bare recordings, and I think they were lost, or just the Grateful Dead was not in possession of them. And at one point, I guess in 2012 or 2011, they got a hold of these and pretty much turned around and released them almost immediately, is my understanding. So they were not things that were heard before. The sound quality is late 60s-ish, so you have that, not as, if you're an audiophile and you don't like imperfections in the sound and all that stuff, maybe this might bother you a little bit more. But I think the sort of not bad but not great sound quality gives it an edge, gives it that sense of like adventure that I think the music has. The Dead in this period, Frank Zappa in this period, when they're already starting to become like establishing a name for themselves by going out and putting on shows that kind of only they do. They're not yet selling out arenas or like big tours, but like people are still going to shows and discovering who these bands are. And I always imagine like discovering the Dead in like 69, and finally they come to my town and I go and I see either one of these shows. One's from I think a St. Louis show, and the other one is a Fillmore show. But yeah, just a Missouri show and a San Francisco show. But just to like maybe stumble upon the band, and this is what you experience for the first time, where you have just an incredible guitar player. Jerry's guitar playing on this stuff is ridiculous. This incredible eclectic mix of tunes. The country songs sound a little countryer than they would. The blues songs are a little grittier than they would be. The extended jams are extended jams, 22, 23-minute Dark Stars. Not many bands were doing stuff like that at this point in the rock, genre. So yeah, just a really, really exciting energy, I think, pervades every single one of these songs on all 4 discs. I was going to say something else. Oh, Tom Constantin is in the first show. He plays in the 69 show, but he's not there for the second show. Constantin. Pigpen is there at the Fox, at both shows. But yeah, other than that, Mickey Hart's still here. So you have the full band, Pigpen, and for the Fillmore show or the 69 show, Constantin is in the band. But yeah, just great sets. Just really good energy. It's sequenced a little strangely, so I think you get the entirety of the Fox Theater show, which is the February 2nd show, on disc 1, and then this first half of disc 2. But then at the end of disc 2, you get the Dark Star through New Speedway Boogie segment, which was sort of like the latter 2/3-ish or the middle 2/3-ish of the set. But then when you go to disc 3, you get the Love Light, which closed the show followed by the Mason's Children on, which started the show. So it's a completely convoluted ordering. Obviously, I think to not break up sort of the continuity of the Dark Star St. Stephen 11 into New Speedway Boogie. But I do think the Turn On Your Love Light could have been put last on disc 3. So you have like first set and then disc Turn On Your Love Light. But regardless of that weird tinkering of the set list, the performances are all spectacular. So disc 1, again, you get the first 70 or so minutes of the February 2nd show. Casey Jones, I think Casey Jones in the 60s, in the 69, sounds better than it ever would again, has a rawness than it ever would again. I think it works really well as a set opener. It is the one song. I said this on the Working Man's Dead review. It is the one Dead song I don't think fits in their repertoire. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't sound like a Grateful Dead song. I think it's such an anomaly of the energy they're bringing and just sort of the way the song is constructed and just everything about it. Just to me, it sounds like an odd man out. Like stuff like Money Money or Bob Star, whatever that weird Bob song was in the 80s. Those weird little things make more sense to me because it's Bob being Bob than Casey Jones. Still, this is a really good performance. Mama Tried, Jerry Garcia's guitar playing on Mama Tried, Jerry Guitar Garcia's. Mama Tried is just like finger picking delicious, or I don't know if he's doing riffs the whole time. I don't know what it is he's doing. It just sounds absolutely ridiculously spectacular. He is filling the space like crazy. It just has a back porch jam session country vibe where it has that raw country edge where I think over the years these country songs become Grateful Dead country songs. This sounds more like the Grateful Dead covering a country song, if that makes any sense. It does to me, but there's a more country flavor to it, and I think that's a good thing. You get a pretty like nice short punch in the gut, hard to handle, Cold Rain and Snow, a great Black Peter. I like imagining being at the show where you see a Casey Jones. Probably don't, you don't know the song. It's a nice little psych rock pop number. You get a really good Mama Tried, a nice country thing. That's fun. You get a Hard to Handle, a good bluesy rockin' number. You get a Cold Rain and Snow, right, which is kind of another fun psych pop number. Then you get a Black Peter, which is just like these devastatingly emotional ballad by Jerry, performed to like perfection. Then we get a Cumberland Blues, and then Dark Star. 22-minute Dark Star. This Dark Star and the one from the 20th show are almost kind of the same. You start off with like that jazzy exploration, pre-verse, pre-vocals, and you get the first verse, chorus. Then you go into like some deep space, a lot of good heavy fill bass tones. And then you kind of climb out of that and go into a feeling groovy jam. And then that kind of falls apart and you quickly find your way into the final verse. Before heading off into St. Stephen, this time there's no 11. It goes into a Mason's Children. There's 2 Mason's Children on this. There's one in both shows. The earlier one is kind of stretched out a little more, has just a little more of a rougher edge. It's not as like stilted. I always think of Mason's Children and that way those chords go. It's just this very like formal, kind of stilted, just has this kind of awkward flow to it. The one from the other show has a little more sort of like looseness in it, and I think it works a little better. I think that this song, as it tightened up, got worse. I think it was better when it was a little more kind of sloppy, but still nice to hear. Then we get a Good Lovin', a short Good Lovin', only 5 minutes, and then an Uncle John's Band. And the Uncle John's Band sounds early, sounds a little hesitant, but it's still a nice song to hear. That's the end of set 1. Set 2, we get a Turn On Your Love Light. 15 minutes of Turn On Your Love Light, which is the perfect amount. That goes into a full-on, not fade away, not even like a jam. Like you get a verse, I think you might even get 2 like little stanzas or whatever of Not Fade Away. Then that goes back into Turn On Your Love Light. The entire thing is less than 20 minutes. That's how a love light should be served up, especially if you're going to throw a little Not Fade Away in the sauce. That's good. I like that. And then and we bid you good night. Good night to close out. Really fun, really strong, perfect amount of everybody. Jerry's playing is phenomenal. Phil is a beast all over the place. Just everything sounds monstrous and heavy and fun. And even the ballads, there's like a depth to them. It just sounds electric. It sounds like a band who's like on the verge of becoming something spectacular, as we all know they would. But they're like discovering, whoa, we can do all this crazy stuff and cover these songs. Energy is phenomenal. Then we get the like middle portion of the second show, of the first show, which is the second show on the disc. On the second half of disc 2, you get the Dark Star Stained Sleeve. And now we get an 11 here. And then that goes into New Speedway Boogie instead of Mason's Children. And I think it's the New Speedway Boogie that has a very like dun 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 dun, almost kind of sounds like a slow down Hungry Freaks Daddy. Or is it the old Mason's Children? One of them, either the Mason's Children or the New Speedway Boogie. And I want to say it's the New Speedway Boogie. Kind of sounds like a little, kind of a slow down, slightly psychier Hungry Freaks Daddy, and it works. It's a nice little vibe. Disc 3, get a 35-minute Turn On Your Love Light. I don't need a 35-minute Turn On Your Love Light in my life. So take that. If you like love lights, it's a good love light. Again, the energy in this show is spectacular. If you're gonna listen to a 35-minute love light, this is a good listen. I don't need 35 minutes of love light in my life. Then we get the first set as it starts on the show. Mason's Children, a China Rider, a High Time, got a High Time and a Black Peter in these, a Me and My Uncle, and even Me and My Uncle sound a little raw in these early stages, a little more country, a Hard to Handle again, and then a Cumberland Blues, which is, again, really nice to hear. Just 2 spectacular, great, fantastic shows. Yeah, absolutely, I would say must-hears. Early Electric Energy, or band, in its development. Again, they're not, Dark Star is not going to these really, really, really deep exploratory places that it would go, or playing in the band would go, or, they would get to between songs, like out of a Let It Grow jam in like 73, 74. But this is a band who you can see they're like exploring these avenues before they can go off and explore other avenues. And then the bonus disc, again, just some really nice stuff. You get a Smokestack Lightning to open up. Nice 12-minute Smokestack Lightning. You get another New Speedway Boogie. This is from December 21st, 69. A little shorter than the other one. I think maybe because the other one came out of the 11, just kind of got stretched out a little bit and felt a little more jammy. Got a New Speedway Boogie. Got a Dire Wolf. Not a song I'm a fan of, but I do like this performance. A Mason's Children again, a China Rider, another Black Peter, a Good Lovin', a little drums, a nice long drums. And then you get the other one. So that's kind of the big thing in here is you get a pretty heavy hitting, attacking, really good feeling other one that has this really, there's this strange, I think Jerry starts quoting another song in the middle of it, or there's this really nice, weird melodic passage in the middle of it that then goes into some other strange place. And then that ends and you get a Cumberland Blues to finish out the disc. But yeah, just really, really good music, really good energy. The band, it's obviously not at its peak, but that a band that is steadily rising and climbing toward its peak, that it would continue to hit and like re-plateau, throughout the 70s. Maybe a brief time in the mid 80s, maybe some nights. But yeah, really good stuff. It's by far the best one yet. And I would say that these have not thus far really competed with the Dick's Picks. I would say of the 5 previous to this one, maybe the one I have ranked at number 1, which I think was number 5, if I'm not mistaken, would qualify into be like a top 10 or even a top 15 Dick's Picks. This one, for me, and what I'm looking for, makes the top 10 at this point. I think it would jump up there. Not top 5. Those Dick's Picks are pretty spectacular. But I would say it would eke into the top 10. This is pretty good stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you check any of this out. Sorry I was all confused with the dates and all, but it is kind of a confusing listen, but I'm okay. I'm willing to forgive it because it's there and it exists and I appreciate it. So yeah, comment, subscribe, like, share, go listen to more music. Go track this down and listen to it. It's the best Dave's pick yet, people. The best batch yet, as they say. All right, talk to you later. Peace.